Go ahead.
Okay, so finally we have the three brands here. Three differing degrees of brands, but we got old school Makita 18 volt. This is my old trusty. Gets the job done. Not over torqued. Not much power though. That's a very small battery. I can't find batteries for it anymore, or more specifically these big. That's a 4 amp and that's a 5 amp. This is like a 1.5 or something, but yeah, this is a much smaller battery, but it gets the job done. So we got Makita, we got the Dewalt 20 volt max, brushed, not brushless. That's key for this guy. And then we have the Cadillac, Milwaukee Fuel, their latest version, brushless with the 5 amp battery. This one, even from their, I think a year or so ago, whatever model it was, this one's even smaller, more compact, more lightweight, and more torque. This is supposedly the animal, the Cadillac. Not impressed with the Dewalt 20 volt max. Tons of power, but too much power when you don't need it. Likes to strip screw heads real quick, real easy. I just did some testing with this one. This one, it worked the screw head just fine. A little heavy on the torque and snapped the screw. Here's the screw, it just snapped. Very quick, very easily. So over here is what we're going to use. Just a 2-inch. It's just a drywall screw, fine thread. Number 2 Phillips head. Nothing heavy duty. Just kind of what you would use maybe around your house. I have a lot of these because I have had to do a lot of drywall repairs. So we're going to do these. I got 4 screws, one for Makita, one for Dewalt, and then we're going to do 2 for the Milwaukee, because as I just found out, the Milwaukee has right here a variable speed. Right now it's on variable. We'll do that one first. That kind of like senses the pressure it needs and steps it up as it goes. If you change it around, you can go to low power, 2, and then here's max power. So we'll try it on the variable. You can hear it stepped up. So, but first we're gonna go with the Makita, just a number 2 Phillips head. These are just 2 2x4s straight from your lumber store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Nothing special, nothing crazy. So you heard this, my old school Mr. Trusty. Heard a lot of torque in there, but it got the job done. But that lot of torque takes a lot of battery. I don't have much battery here, but it did get the job done. We'll switch to the Dewalt here. It has the, I believe it's a 4 amp, 20 volt max lithium. Which everybody says they're not truly 20 volt, they're more like 19 or 18.9 or whatever. This is the one that's kind of made me angry last couple trips of doing stuff that it wouldn't even torque it down. It just stripped the screw head because there was no regulation there. But again, this is the 20 volt max, not XR. So this is the brushed version, not brushless. 2-3 years ago, I wish I would have bought the brushless. So, but here we go. Did the job good. I put a lot of torque on that. I'm 250-60 pounds. I put a lot of weight into that to keep it straight and to keep it just going. All right, so next is the Milwaukee Fuel with the 5 amp battery. And by the way, this battery is pretty much dead. This is fresh out of the box, and it's pretty much dead.
This is the box it came in.
Yeah, this thing is dead, but it was going. So this is on the variable speed, which I like because it just gives you a nice, easy transition. Done deal. And it stopped right there. The drill actually stopped. I had the trigger still depressed, and it stopped. And it's not too deep, and it's nice and secure. So now we're going to switch over here to its full power, which I don't know if we're going to get that because that battery's dead. I've got one charging over here, but we're a little ways away. So here's full power. And as you can see, that thing just sunk it way deeper than the rest of them. It really sent it home. So far, the Milwaukee is insane, crazy power, and it applies it when needed. So the biggest problem I had with this Dewalt was it had lots of power, but it was too much power all at once. It just gave it too much and stripped screw heads before you needed that. And it got me so angry that the last project I did, I ended up going back to my old trusty, the Makita here, which this thing's heck probably 9 years old, 10 years old. Original batteries. You can't even buy batteries for this because I even thought about buying a bigger battery for it, but you can't even buy this one anymore. They sell something similar, but thought about changing it up and
That's
going.
actually older because that was our first Christmas.
Well, I still changed it up. A couple years ago, went to the Dewalt. Lots of power, but because I'm guessing because it's not brushless, you pull that trigger and it's 100% power, and it just strips things out. This guy has several options, including that variable speed option and number 3. But even at number 3, you just saw it had no problem sending that home. The Dewalt XR, which is a brushless version, yeah, it can probably do the same thing as this, but they're about the same price. Thought I'd give a new product a try. This is a bigger battery than what this would come with as an XR. This XR would have came with a 4 amp, which would be the same as that. For $20-something more, I got the Milwaukee fuel with a 5 amp battery, and so far is a lot more power and torque than this, which by the numbers from their website, this is more torque. I think it's like 2,200 foot-pounds of torque. Don't quote me on that, but much more impressed with the Milwaukee so far.
Do a size comparison.
Size comparison, this one is a lot smaller. You can see how much shorter, which I actually just used, was using the Impact the other day for when our water heater went out and had to reframe a pedestal for our water heater, and let me make it more accurate, but right about there. The Dewalt, in a tight little space, I couldn't get it in there to send some 2x4 screws in, but this Milwaukee, I'm looking at it from the side, you probably can't see, but it's easily 1.5 inches shorter than the Dewalt, and that 1.5 inches can make a lot of room. Now, what I will say for the Dewalt is the 3 lights. Bam, right there. Those 3 lights are pretty nice. The Milwaukee only has 1 light, but I usually wear a headlamp when I'm doing stuff at nighttime or in tight spaces and don't even use these lights. So that's about the only thing I will give the Dewalt, is it has those 3 lights for illumination, whereas the Milwaukee only has 1 light. But I would still take the ease of power, and I do say ease of power because this thing has the power, but it starts you off nice and smooth, so where you're not stripping screws and you're getting a nice easy start, and then you can send it home for a secure screw into the wood. Whereas the Dewalt, I built the desk that you're looking at. I built a desk very similar to this for a neighbor, just using 1 1/4 inch wood screws with a number 2 Phillips head. And Mr. Dewalt here was making me very, very angry because about every other screw, which they weren't cheap, it was stripping the head right out. And that's when I went back to old Trusty and did the job. But old Trusty's batteries weren't holding up because about 1 second into the drill start, it was having to hammer down and impact those screws in. So that's when I started looking at something new. I'm hoping this Milwaukee will do the job, and just doing some test runs here, it ran pretty dang strong with little effort, which means longer battery and more strength for a longer time. Thank you for watching.